Imagine combining VTubers and competitive Pokemon. While not the most novel idea, plenty of VTubers have already done SMPs involving Pixelmon or Cobblemon, although none have approached it with a competitive spirit. So let's say they held a giant VGC style event. Who would they use? What would be the best fit for their personality and avatar, while also still being a strong fit to win? That's what I'm here to either theorize or figure out, and I'll be using 3 VTubers for this idea. Before we begin, I've set a few rules to make it a bit fun. First, the Pokemon must match the personality, design, or lore of said VTuber. They must be usable in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And it doesn't need to be perfect. That means both gimmicks and weird ideas are completely allowed even if they're not the most optimal for VGC battling. With that out of the way, let's start by introducing the format. In Pokemon VGC, you're only allowed to bring 4 of the 6 Pokemon to battle, and the first person to win 2 of the 3 games is the victor. Sometimes, you're allowed to bring 2 legendaries, or none, but for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Regulation G, you can bring a single legendary Pokemon, and that serves as a cornerstone of this format. There is also the fact that we can use the ability called Terrestrialization, which changes the typing of a single Pokemon. We can use this to make a Pokemon stronger or bulkier by changing its types. But that's everything you needed to know. So let's get to our first trainer. Meet Yomi Quinnley, a high-energy half-demon alchemist VTuber, and her legendary Pokemon, Terrapagos, the source of the terrestrialization phenomenon. I originally thought Mewtwo would fall more in line with being an alchemist, but Terrapagos is a scientific marvel and a very popular choice in the VGC community. Not only will we enable it to be bulky with Calm Mind, but it will also deal massive damage with Terra Starstorm, although it is not very strong without being able to set up. So, we'll have to get support from another Pokemon like Porygon 2, the virtual Pokemon, and Grimmsnarl, the bulk-up Pokemon, known for its misdeeds and pranks. We'll use Grimmsnarl to mess with enemy Pokemon with Fake Out and Thunder Wave, while Porygon 2 is meant to set up Trick Room and deal as much damage as possible when necessary. But it'll be the job of Ogerpon, Heartflame, Raging Bolt, and Fluttermane to bring the damage. Fluttermane will be our speedy cannon, and holding the focus sash, so if it does get hit with a super effective move, we'll still be able to at least land a Shadow Ball or Moonblast. Ogerpon is here mainly for Follow Me, which redirects a target's attack, but if left unchecked, she can become a big threat on her own. However, our main guy is Raging Bolt. He's going to be dealing our raw damage, as with Terra Electric to boost Thunderclap and Thunderbolt into insane numbers. Safety Goggles will also be there just to make sure he doesn't fall asleep. And if you're wondering why I chose these Pokemon, well, Raging Bolt and Fluttermane are ancient Pokemon, something a scientist would love. And Ogerpon Heartflame is pretty chaotic, just like said VTuber. Though the team may seem weird, and a lot of it would work better if paired with a Sunsetter to activate Photosynthesis and boost the Fire-type moves, the team is far more interesting, and it even found success in a battle. Although, will other trainers find the same?
Oh my god, I just thought of a bad threat.
Our next trainer is Ellie Cartoonzz, a Stegosaurus VTuber known for being a goober that screams a lot. Her legendary Pokemon will be built around none other than the dinosaur-inspired Groudon. This big boy will set the sun anytime he's switched into the field, and will be able to deny any stats from being dropped if we use the Clear Amulet item. To take full advantage of the sun, we'll use another dinosaur Pokemon named Walking Wake. Not only is it boosted in the sun, but its signature move, Hydro Steam, increases its damage in the sun. Although with its dragon typing, we will use Terra Fairy just so it can survive. But don't you think we're done with dinosaurs just yet. Our next 2 picks are going to be Bastiodon and Galarian Moltres. Originally, I wanted to add Whimsicott or Jumpluff, but dinosaurs. Either way, Galarian Moltres will let us use Tailwind to increase our speed, and it has the Berserk ability, which raises its special attack by 1 stage when its HP drops below half. While on the other hand, Bastiodon can become a very bulky Pokemon, especially if we use Iron Defense, but it is mainly here to use Wide Guard, which stops attacks that hit 2 targets from landing. Very gimmicky, and yet the last gimmick Pokemon we add is going to be the biggest of them all, Smeargle. But why Smeargle? It's not a dinosaur. Well, it's an art Pokemon, and our VTuber here is an artist. So, at least to me, it makes so much sense. Now, how can we make this Pokemon increase the strength of our team? Well, it'll be easy. The fact that Smeargle can learn any move in the game allows us to give it Decorate, which increases a Pokemon's attack by 2 stage, and Helping Hand to let other Pokemon do more damage. Additionally, we give it the Focus Sash just so we can at least land 2. That leaves us with our most normal choice, Rillaboom, the drumming Pokemon. We give it the Assault Vest to make it bulkier, and its ability Grassy Surge lets us slowly heal our team over time. There is a lot more detail we can go into, but with our victory under the team's belt, I am very happy with it, and I think we'll be happy with our next trainer's outcome.
And then we're going to be playing a game called Birdie.
Meet BigBugNose Bug, a theme park mascot, kind of like a big pink Mickey Mouse streamer. I really had to push creativity for this, which turned the team more into a gimmick, but I think it fits very well. So, I'll be spending more time talking about why I chose these Pokemon. Anyways, let's meet the legendary Pokemon, Shadow Rider. I feel like it's obvious, but it's almost like riding a horse at a theme park or a merry-go-round, and it's one of the better legendary Pokemon within this regulation. We'll use Nasty Plot to increase its stats, so moves like Draining Kiss and Astral Barrage can do so much more. Our next Pokemon was chosen based on the history of wrestling in theme parks. The strongest Pokemon of them all in the VGC scene, Incineroar. It'll have a basic build, so its job can be focused on switching in and out to lower enemy stats. Things like Parting Shot will basically be the thing we're spamming the most. Next up is definitely going to have to be Iron Hands and Ogerpon Wellspring, since Iron Hands is a cyborg sumo wrestler, which has been a part of some theme parks. Not the cyber part, but definitely the wrestling part. And Ogerpon itself is like a little mascot Pokemon, and I feel that just works in an idea of a theme park. Either way, Iron Hands is going to be our bulky guy with Terra Grass to ignore Spore, while Ogerpon will mimic the one that we discussed before, but also be there to deal with any pesky water-type Pokemon. Now we're dealing with the last 2 Pokemon, and I feel that we need something bug-designed, and that means our only logical choice is Yanmega. It gets fast from its ability Speed Boost, which, when turning on every turn, increases its speed by 1 stage. But its main use is going to be for Tailwind, which increases all of our Pokemon speed stats. And our last Pokemon is going to be a simple transformation, Ditto, the transforming Pokemon. And I feel that there is no better pick than something that can just turn into whatever you need it to be. In the team itself, it'll just work kind of as a counterpick, whether copying an opponent's Pokemon or just being there to be a hassle. The team, it's weird, but it managed to win, so it gets my seal of approval, and it's by far my favorite one that I made today. But that's our 3 trainers and their teams. While I don't fully recommend using these teams in any kind of serious event, I am curious, what if you had to build a competitive team based on a VTuber? Who would it be? What regulation would you use? And should I make a competitive team on VTubers as if they were gym leaders? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to support everybody shown in the video. Thank you!